Welcome back. I'm Ferrikster, here to bring you some Pokemon Go Battle League battles. These battles are played in the Love Cup. It's a Great League Cup where the Pokemon must be either red or pink. So I'm using Charizard because Charizard, as we all know, is red. Bright red. Red like a traffic cone. What else is red? Or an orange. The fruit, oranges. Those are red. Bright red. Like Charizard. 100%. Whatever I'm doing seems to be working okay. Made it to number 3 on the leaderboard. Normally I play Shadow Charizard, and it's just a very spicy pick that I happen to be comfortable with. In this cup, it's actually kind of a standard pick, and I think a very strong lead in this particular cup. I'm not the only one using it. Dan Falco, myself, Roll Toms, number 1, 3, and 6, all opening Charizard. But let's hop into these matches and see how to use this thing. My first opponent is the lovely, the talented Caleb Peng. I don't know. For whatever reason, and this isn't specifically by design, I have a very high win rate against Caleb Peng in Open Great League or any Great League any league when I encounter him. It's not by design, and I don't know what his team is going in. It's just whatever method he uses, like however it is that he deconstructs the meta and comes to his team, the things that I do just seem to counter that. I don't know. It's like rock, scissors, paper, and I'm scissoring Caleb. I don't know. I hope you never see this video, Caleb. I'm so sorry. So, what happened at the beginning of this match? I don't know. But he has a Medicham, and that's fine. Everyone has a Medicham. Medicham is everywhere in this cup. It's more prevalent than Azumarill in Open Great League was in Azumarill's heyday. It's like as popular as Bronzor in Little Cup. It's that prevalent. So definitely make sure that you have answers. That's why I'm opting for Slowbro. Slowbro is a pretty decent response to Medicham, although Medicham can still flip the matchup with enough shields and proper baiting. But yeah, my Charizard is still running Fire Spin. The recommended move is Wing Attack, and I am 100% on board with that call. I do end up switching my Charizard to Wing Attack because I encounter too many Medichams and Scrafties. And Alola even. Like, Wing Attack has so much more play in this cup. So if there was ever a time to use an Elite TM, it's for this cup with all these freaking Medichams. They're everywhere. Everyone's using it. And this Medicham is so thick. Look at it, all the way at 1500. Such a thick Medicham. This one's running Psycho Cut, and for whatever reason, I don't shield the Psychic. I knew it was going to be a Psychic. I just thought it did slightly less damage than it ended up doing. So this is just bad play right here. Like, this is a reasonably positive matchup, although obviously it's much, much stronger with Wing Attack, which I'll get to for my second 2 sets. But I managed to get 2 shields off this Medicham, so now I'm just setting Slowbro, and I'm just going to Confusion the whole way down. I will have to shield this second Psychic because Psycho Cut builds energy kind of fast, and this Medicham had so much energy from farming down Charizard. And Alola Mola comes out, and this right here is actually a tactical error. I'm throwing the Psychic right away. Alola Mola's fast move doesn't really do any damage, so it should have occurred to me when it was coming out that it was being thrown out as a damage sponge. So when you're getting a damage sponge thrown at you, probably shouldn't throw out the damage right away, because that's what they want. Should have really built up to 100 energy first before throwing the first Psychic. That way I would have nearly a move ready for whatever came out in the end. It didn't end up mattering in this game, but there's going to be games out there where it does. So definitely something tactical, strategic that I should keep in mind more. Next up against Sherd. Charizard into Scolipede. Still a very favorable lead. Fire Spin, Wing Attack, doesn't matter. Scolipede gets bodied. He switches into Medicham. If I had Wing Attack, I probably would have stayed in a little bit longer and did a little bit more damage to bring Medicham into Confusion Farm Down range. As it stands, baited with the first power-up punch, so I'm just going to throw this Psychic. So because I'm going to have to shield the next move, I at least want to trade out shields so I don't end up at a deficit. Like, if this is a Psychic and it hits me, it'll KO me, so I have to respect that, throw that out. But he doesn't actually make it to the next Psychic because didn't really fast move deny perfectly, and I got like half of a free Confusion in because he threw a little bit early. But very close. I can definitely see why it looked like it wouldn't have made a difference. Up against Roll Toms, who, reminder, number 6 on the leaderboard, also opening Charizard. At this point, we're both still having Wing Attack. I had a little bit of lag at the beginning of this match, so that just means that he's half a move ahead, so I have to wait for him to throw his charge move first, so that our fast moves will be synced again. So now I fast move deny, and I'm throwing this first Dragon Claw. Trade out shields, and I'm actually able to sneak in an extra Fire Spin. So this is definitely Dragon Claw, so I'm going to let this one go. And now I'll just throw out my Dragon Claw, and because I'm ahead by 1 Fire Spin because I snuck it in, the damage from that enables me to KO his Charizard first. And a Medicham comes out because everyone has Medicham. Everyone. So 6 Slowbro on him, and this is actually an interesting tactic that my opponent goes with. He's going straight power-up punch. He's not building up to a Psychic first. He's just throwing out power-up punch to get the counter damage in as fast as he can. And honestly, the way this is looking, if we just traded out shields here, I think Medicham would actually win the one shield. Going straight power-up punch counter, at least versus Shadow Slowbro. Which might, be a good argument for running regular Slowbro instead. But I am able to get off this second Psychic, eat up that last shield on the Scrafty. Here, he's at a foul play, and he's already power-up punched once, so if this is a foul play, it'll KO me, but my opponent baits. I guess that is his win condition, so I probably should have seen that coming. Wasn't counting perfectly. I think I was a little bit distracted just by the fact that he's going straight power punch without baiting. It struck me as so unusual, but it does make a lot of sense if you want to get that damage out a little bit faster. And yeah, my opponent's able to take that game. So GG. Special tactics. Definitely pays off. Here against... Wow, that name was hard. I'm sorry. I'll try again next time. Alola. This isn't like the hardest possible counter team to my team, but it's the hardest counter of the common teams that you'll see. Like, this is a team that a couple of people are running. Alola double charm. The charms are able to maintain their alignment perfectly against my back line, and I stopped throwing confusions towards the end because I need Wigglytuff to have a little bit more health, because I need Charizard to farm a lot, because he cannot be allowed to remain in against Alola. I have to go in against Alola full of energy, and I have to wait out the switch clock on that first one, because otherwise Alola will come out, and my switch clock won't be up yet, and I'll be trapped. So I throw this Dragon Claw, and they don't sneak in a Waterfall, so that's great. I switch into Electrode, and my first Volt Switch registers, which is also really helpful. Any little bit of damage I can do to Alola helps, because Alola is so thick. So, Electrode, you charge up to Hyper Beam before throwing the discharge. If I was bringing Hyper Beam, maybe that would be different. And then I undercharge and don't attack because I need Clefable to have more health so that I can farm down. Charizard comes out, and I sneak in a Fire Spin. That's great. Moonblast hits me. We have great lag, but I don't have an attack drop. That's also great. And even the charm damage is really added up. So I throw this first Dragon Claw, and even from a Shadow Charizard, look at how little damage it does. Alola so thick. Hit the Alola with a Blast Burn, and I'm able to Fire Spin down and simultaneous KO. So you know what? That's great. I'll take it. Like, that team is really, really hard for my team. So if you can get a tie, that's about as good as a win. I mean, some of your sets you're always going to encounter hard counter teams. So if you can convert that into a tie, that makes a big difference. So 3.5 out of 5, go up about 20 points. Next set against Spandex Soup, which sounds revolting. It's terrible food. Opening Metacham and switches to Electrode. I was used to staying in against Electrode to do Fire Spin damage because enough Fire Spins actually puts it into Foul Play range. Foul Play plus Farm Down range. With Wing Attack being resisted, that is not the case. So that was a mistake. Should have switched out right away. And tried to sneak in a Volt Switch to get ahead. Like, that definitely was the play. Not what I did. So my opponent sneaks in a Volt Switch, which is pretty bad for me. I get the shield back, so now we're at even shields. Here I decide to maintain switch advantage, but he has a Metacham. And both of my remaining Pokemon can handle Metacham. Would have been smarter to let myself go down and bring out Slowbro just to confusion down the Electrode. That was a strategic mistake. So now his Metacham has a little bit of energy, but that's okay. I switch in to Slowbro, and my opponent fast swaps into Crustle, which is really bad for Charizard and also quite bad for Slowbro because the X-Scissor does so much damage. Still, I'm barely able to get to the Psychic. Get this off. I'm going to take out his last shield. I get the defense drop and switch into Charizard to throw the Dragon Claw. The defense drop didn't really... this win was not contingent on the defense drop. That Dragon Claw would have taken him out anyway. So now I just have to get this Dragon Claw off and maybe another Wing Attack or two, and I can take out this Metacham. He actually goes down on his 8th counter, so he was right at a Psychic when he went down. If I'd had Fire Spin, that would have made that much worse. So, Dan Falco, number 1 on the leaderboard currently. Also opens Charizard, also with Wing Attack. Not trying to force you guys to spend anything you don't want to spend, but if there were ever a time to spend the Elite TM, Charizard seems like a pretty good use of it for this cup. So I'm just matching his moves, throwing the first Dragon Claw. We go to 1 shield each. I throw my second Dragon Claw before he does, and as a result, he gets in an extra fast move, which means that he's going to outpace me. So rather than get outpaced, I switch in Slowbro, and he has an Electrode. So, Wing Attack Charizard with Electrode in the back. Might be a sensible team to run. I throw 1 Confusion more than necessary, and that is kind of a mistake because the Volt Switch is doing a lot, and I'm pretty sure something is going to come out where having that extra bit of health would have been more impactful. Here, if I'm able to get in a second Confusion, it would change things altogether. Like, this Dragon Claw comes in, 1 Confusion registers. If I'd snuck in a Confusion, or if I'd had a little bit more health because I didn't lose more health to a Volt Switch from the Electrode, then this Charizard would have gone down, and I wouldn't have gotten Blast Burned. And then my opponent brings in Metacham because everyone's running Metacham. I switch into Charizard right away because I really need to get to this Blast Burn. He throws the Power Up Punch, which is the right move. I go down right before reaching the Blast Burn, so my opponent takes this game. This game came down to all technical, mechanical things, sneaking in moves and really, really minor decision making, and my opponent just outplayed me. I mean, GG to Dan Falco. And congratulations on your number 1 spot, if you happen to watch this video for whatever reason. What happened here? Electrode lead. Terrible for this team. Especially now with Wing Attack, Charizard has basically no play. Here I am making a mistake, which is shielding. I should just let myself go down and bring Charizard back out to farm down, because the Dragon Claws from Charizard actually do meaningful damage to Electrode, and farming up some energy on that Scolipede would have been very helpful. Instead, I went down a shield to maintain alignment, which doesn't make any sense because neither of my back line has play against Electrode. I didn't need the alignment. That was totally a wasted shield. So I baited the first. Well, I feigned that I had Hyper Beam first, and then threw the second Foul Play. Get into confusion. That's great. He's at 100 energy. I shield the first discharge because why not? I managed to sneak into confusion, which is fantastic. But I'm gonna have to eat this discharge, which hurts a lot. And then he has his own Slowbro in the back, which gets a little bit ahead of energy on me. I reach this Dragon Claw, and Wing Attack Charizard actually has an okay matchup against Slowbro. Because the confusions are just hitting for neutral, so is the Wing Attack. And so is the Dragon Claw, but not so much when you're down a shield. And also behind on energy. And then I get confusion down, so I don't even reach the Psychic with my Slowbro. But yeah, good game to my opponent. Electrode lead is pretty tough. Talonflame, this is a positive lead. It's 5 Fire Spins to the Flame Charge and 6 to the Brave Bird. Because my Charizard is Shadow, I'm able to just Wing Attack all the way down, throwing 1 Dragon Claw. If he shields it, that's even better. If he doesn't, that's fine. I'm going to shield this move no matter what it is. Even if they're not baiting that it could be Brave Bird, I'm still going to shield even knowing that it's a Flame Charge. Just because it's very common to have double counter user in the back. And with double fighter, Wing Attack Charizard has a lot of play against the things in the back also. So I did plenty of Wing Attack damage, and now I'm able to just switch in Slowbro and farm him the rest of the way down. I eat the first confusion, and that's fine. He's not going to be able to reach a second one, so this is just a power punch, so that's no problem. And now I'm almost at a Psychic, and yeah, Scrafty in the back, double fighter. So I throw the confusion instead of the Water Pulse. I actually get the shield and the defense drop. So this is going ideally. As far as, Slowbro into. And also, just going straight power up punch and then countering me down. Send out Charizard, and he sends Talonflame out. I switch into Electrode out of habit, because that's how you deal with an insta-switch, just insta-switch. But even if I'd stayed in with Charizard, I would have just Wing Attacked down Talonflame and ended with a Blast Burn ready. So that was... It's very hard to lose to that team if you play it right. So Slowbro lead, I switch out of it right away, and in the future I think I will stay in and just Wing Attack and Dragon Claw, because switching in Slowbro in this situation is getting me paired up against a Scrafty, and that's pretty bad for Slowbro. Scrafty is going out. Scrafty outpaces Slowbro, and the Foul Play absolutely takes me out. And I have to shield the Foul Play against Shadow Charizard because it does like 60% damage, 60 or more. I'm able to Wing Attack down, so now I'm at least at a Dragon Claw. Slowbro comes back out, throw 2 Wing Attacks, and then Fast Move Deny, so that I'm not wasting any turns or energy, and throw the Dragon Claw. And you can see that it does reasonable damage, and so do these Wing Attacks. I think it was definitely a mistake for me to switch out of this matchup right away. Did switch out to try to get a Volt Switch of damage in. Not too sure why, but it's also always helpful to get a little bit ahead on energy with Electrode. Definitely performs a lot better with energy. Yeah, I'm able to get to this second discharge, and I was expecting my opponent to shield this, but I guess if they had done that, they were worried Charizard would come out and farm down. But yeah, I'm able to get a Volt Switch in on this Slowbro, so I'm able to just come back in and Wing Attack all the way down. But GG to my opponent. It was definitely hard. Their Charmer didn't have a ton of utility there at the end. That's one of the reasons that I don't usually run Charmers, just because they rely so much on fast move pressure. They don't have as many options in terms of like baiting or like, timing out their charge moves very well. So this next starting this next set up against Valarash, it's opening Medicham. Everyone's running Medicham. Wing Attack Charizard against Medicham, strongly positive as a lead. I just throw 1 Dragon Claw. If they shield, that's great. I can just throw another Dragon Claw because my next Dragon Claw with the Wing Attacks will take them out. And I correctly shield the Psychic, which is even better. So I'm able to farm up a little bit extra energy before throwing this Dragon Claw. If they shield this, I will literally get to my 3rd Dragon Claw before they get to their 2nd Psychic. So it's a strongly positive match for Charizard once you're running Wing Attack. Alola comes out, and I throw the Dragon Claw. I should have just instantly switched out. Throwing the Dragon Claw is almost like a waste of energy. But my opponent's out of shields, so I'm going to be able to Psychic this Wigglytuff, take it out, and then Alola is going to come back, and hopefully I'm able to Confusion up and get a Psychic. If not, that's fine. I'm up a shield, and I still have Electrode in the back, so this is fine. Yeah, Alola is incredibly thick, but reaches its moves very slowly. It takes 7 waterfalls to get to the Psychic, and I think like 10 or 11 to get to the Hydro Pump. It's a lot. Not that I've ever been hit with anything other than Psychic so far, but that might have something to do with my team composition. So next match against Kaya's. Charizard into Mr. Mime. Oh my god, I make a terrible mistake in this match. So I'm throwing this move, and it can only be Dragon Claw. Like, I'm not even building up to Blast Burn to bait, because in my mind, Mr. Mime is a pure Psychic type, because I'm old and come from Gen 1 before Fairy existed, so Mr. Mime was pure Psychic. So, yeah. Definitely didn't play this match out particularly well. Medicham comes out after I farm down Mr. Mime because everyone's running Medicham. I'm not sure if you've heard, but everyone is. This one's shiny, which makes it much better. I get out 2 Confusions before my opponent switches to Wormadam, and because I'm up a shield and up 2 Confusions, I'm going to be able to outpace it to moves. I sneak in a Confusion there, which is good because he snuck in one before, so now I'm still 2 ahead. When we're even on shields, if they Iron Head bait, they can get ahead of you. But not the case here. I throw this Psychic, I feel like a little bit early, but my opponent ends up shielding, so it doesn't make a difference. I sneak in a Confusion here, but that doesn't end up mattering either. Another Bug Buzz comes through, and I'm ready with a Psychic, and for whatever reason, I switch out to catch a move on Electrode. I should have just thrown the Psychic. Slowbro, despite having slow in the name, is still faster than Medicham because Medicham is so thick. My opponent throws the Power Up Punch because it was about to faint, but it wasn't enough to take me out. I'm able to take that game. But it didn't need to be that close. I could have just thrown the Psychic first, you know? It would have been a lot better. Next up, against 24-16 Rod. Charizard into Wormadam. This isn't so bad for Wormadam now that I'm running Wing Attack, but my opponent insta-switches out anyway to Medicham because everyone has Medicham. But also because you don't want to stay in with Wormadam, because if it does turn out to be a Fire Spin, there goes like a quarter of your health in one fast move. It's just, it's a lot. But I am able to do a bunch of Wing Attack damage first, which means I'm in a position where I can just Confusion the Medicham all the way down. I do have to shield this one, and because I got baited and I wasn't really counting, I end up throwing this Psychic, which is totally not necessary. I could definitely have Confusioned it down. But that's just on me not knowing how to count. Counting is very hard. Yeah, let's go with that. Throw this Water Pulse, and now I'm staying in because, not that I don't want to lose switch advantage or anything, that's over. I just want to put Wormadam into a position where they at least have to throw energy first. And then I send Charizard back out to start getting energy ready, and it's an Alola in the back. For whatever reason, I'm making the mistake I always make, which is throwing the Dragon Claw first. There's no reason to do that. I'm just doing it because something comes out, and I throw the move when I have it because I'm buying time to think. Totally not necessary. Could very easily have just switched into Electrode. Electrode outpaces Alola, so as long as I were to throw my first discharge first and get the shield, I can farm the rest of the way down apparently and have a discharge ready for Wormadam when they come back out. Electrode wins CMP against pretty much everything, but my opponent escapes before I am able to discharge on his Wormadam. Next up, against Bloody Bananas. Charizard into Talonflame. I've seen this before. Very positive. Well, very positive now that I'm running Wing Attack. With Fire Spin, it was a winning lead, but not by that much. So gonna shield this no matter what it is. It's just a Flame Charge. That was actually only 5 Fire Spins, so they weren't even threatening the Brave Bird. I guess they just know me. They just know I'm gonna shield that anyway. They actually shield the Dragon Claw and then switch into Clefable, and for whatever reason, I'm baiting. I don't know. It's just bad play. Bad play, doesn't work out. Should have just gone straight Blast Burn. Maybe could have hit 2 Blast Burns anyway. But now I'm definitely only going to be able to get out this one. And I switch out at this point, and I'm going to try to Confusion all the way down, which should be plenty achievable, but man, does Charm ever do a ton of damage in the process. Look at that. Like, oh my gosh. I do have a move ready for whatever comes out. I am mashing the Psychic button because I'm anticipating, if not Talonflame, something else in Psychic is the better move overall. And yeah, turns out to be Scrafty, which it would have done ever so slightly more damage if I'd thrown Water Pulse. But not really, not enough that it would matter. I send out Charizard and then switch to catch the power-up punch to retain Charizard in case I need to throw 2 wing attacks at something later. He has so little health, it's barely worth it. It might have made more sense to just let Charizard take the damage and faint. But this is fine too. I'm surprised that my opponent didn't try to switch out at some point. I don't know if they're just trying to outweight me. Sometimes that happens. Knowing that your opponent needs to switch out to win and trying to not get switched out on, it's a lot like playing chicken. If they switch out right away and I waited, that's fine. I can wait a little bit more until it gets too close to wait. So opted to just go over by 1 volt switch and throw, and worked out okay for me. So next match, I think this is the last battle against Blaza from Asia. Opens Medicham because everyone's running Medicham. Everyone. So I've seen this before. Just gonna build up to the Blast Burn, throw the Dragon Claw. If they shield, fine. If they don't shield, fine. I'm gonna shield this no matter what it is. If they're baiting me, fine. If they're not baiting me, fine. 4. So throwing this Dragon Claw when he's at 4. If he had snuck in a counter, then he'd be able to reach his next Psychic ahead of time. But because he wasn't able to do that, neither was I. Medicham faints just before reaching the Psychic after baiting the power-up punch. And Clefable comes out. So just going to build up to this Blast Burn and throw it. I'm not going to be able to reach 2 moves, so if I don't do this, it's totally a waste. So might as well throw. And let myself go down so that I'm not switch-locked. Send Slowbro in, taking tons and tons of confusion of charm damage. In retrospect, it probably would have been better to send out Electrode, just because I would get to my move faster and therefore would end up taking fewer charms. The charm damage is oppressive. This Wormadam is actually able to sneak in an extra confusion, so that actually makes a world of difference in this game because I ended up CNP tying here with the Bug Buzz, and he was if he had to get in 1 extra confusion, would have fainted before he was able to throw that move. But because it was, Clefable was able to come back out, charm me down, and Charm does so much damage, we simultaneously KO. Second simultaneous KO of this video, but a lot of 4-turn moves, lots of Volt Switch, lots of confusion, so yeah, it's been happening a lot. So I get a Froakie, and that's fine, I guess. 4.5 out of 5 gets me 48 points, landing me to 36-26, which again, number 3 on the leaderboard. So yeah, very happy with the way this team is going. Dan Felco's team, very similar. Wing Attack Charizard with a with an Electrode in the back. And yeah, Roll Tom's also number 6, running Charizard in the lead. I think Charizard is a very strong lead in this cup. Highly recommend it. Highly recommend this team. If you like this content, do the things you know you're supposed to do. I don't need to tell you what they are. You already know what they are. Do the things. I'll see you in the next video. Oh, and happy Valentine's Day and stuff. I love you.